fatal heart impact, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet out. Get ready for defeat now.
I still remember my old life. I was a young man, foolish, cocky, and arrogant. The one day I let my rage overtake me was the day I was sealed within my own weapon. And the day my life would change forever. My name was once known as Arthur. However, I believe I've changed. I go by a different name now, and I'm helping someone. Someone on the path to be a champion for the world. I believe that they need my guidance. I do believe I've chosen the right warrior for my weapon, for my guidance. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and yeah, it's been a minute since I've done this what if. Anyways, now, whenever we last left off, Izuku, I don't believe I ever mentioned an age for him. So, Midoriya, he will be around the age of 20 whenever he was sealed inside the sword. I'm stating that now because I don't think I've ever said anything about that. And we do then have Melissa, who she's been training with the sword since she was a very young child, or at least younger. If I have everything correct, she had it for 4 years, up until her 13th birthday, where she tried to get All Might to handle the sword. Now, All Might, if he was able to handle the weapon and pick it up, he would have to get Melissa to stop talking about UA and trying to apply to that dangerous hero school. Now, Melissa did also then tell All Might that if he doesn't lift the sword, then he has to train her to get into UA. And All Might, he did accept these terms. Now, we all know how this would end. All Might could not lift it, and he did then have to train Melissa. Now, All Might, he has thought about giving Melissa one for all. However, there is one little problem. David. He wants to explain this to his friend. If Melissa's shield, his knees takes on one for all, she is going to be the bearer of his quirk. She will be the 9th user for it, along with her wielding this strange heavy weapon that he doesn't know too much about. Now, that was a few months ago. And we do actually have where Melissa, she's started training with All Might, who is currently staying on the island. Or actually, let's just say to spice it up a bit, he's actually back in the city on the shoreline. And Melissa's training at the beach. Now, her and All Might will be training for months. And Melissa, she doesn't even call her father to tell her that she's keeping up on her studies. Now, this is where you do actually have All Might, who today is the day he would reveal one for all to Melissa. And he does want to know what her reaction will be, as she does stand there on the beach. Her in her workout uniform as she does hold up the mighty blade. And she does actually go to swing it around. All Might watching her move with grace. The way she's moving is like a ballerina. All of her moves are calculated, and swift. Anytime he does go to see an opening, Melissa already does cover it up before he can even open his mouth. There's also the fact that that sword, it weighs a ton and she's swinging it around like it's just some simple little, well, toy. Now, All Might does watch Melissa as she gets deep into her training, her moving around and throwing the sword easily. Until you do actually have All Might, who he does want to test how far, or at least how much, she can handle the blade. As All Might would shout to Melissa to take out the pile of trash right there. And she would actually break her focus before going to look at All Might. As her eye does turn off the blue coloring. And Midori would tell her to get back into focus and to fix her form. Melissa just mumbling, right, as she was going to do just that before spinning around with the blade. And she does go charging straight at the giant trash mound. As Midori would tell her that she has improved her warrior spirit. However, now she has to learn to control it. Now, Melissa, she has gotten the gist of it. From the way Arthur or Izuku explains it, the warrior's spirit seems like some sort of ability to enhance your physical body and be physically tougher and stronger than a normal person. Along with that, it also does provide with some useful skills. Now, All Might would watch Melissa, as with one swift blow, she cleaves an entire refrigerator clean in half, not losing any momentum as she does continue on. And she does start to just slice through a lot of metal objects and wooden trash. Now, All Might does watch this. Melissa's chopping things that are made of metal, sturdy material, to bits. And he does try to think. She is quirkless, right? Now, you do actually then have a few minutes later after Melissa, she's done training. And she just sit on the steps to the beach with a rag in her hand as she is trying to clean off the trash from the blade. Now, All Might does walk up and go to sit down, as he would buff down, telling Melissa that she's done very well today. Thanks, Uncle All Might. Still, I can't believe Dad doesn't know about that. Yes, I understand. I don't want to worry David too much. Okay. Still, it was a shocker, though. I understand. Now, I do have a question about what you just did. Oh, sorry. I've just been trying to get used to it. I see. Well, I do have a question for you. If you could take on a quirk, what would it be? All Might, with all these hypothetical questions, what's up with that? Well, Melissa, it's not hypothetical. What? I have never told your father this, even whenever we work together. My quirk is not my own. I've trained it and harnessed it as much as I can. And it was given to me by my good friend Anashimura, my mentor. What? Nana Shimura? I think that name rings a bell? Not a lot of people do remember her. Do not worry, it's fine. However, I was hoping that I could give you my quirk. That way, 2 years from now, whenever you go to UA, you can harness its power. And you wouldn't have to rely on the sword. Now, Melissa does look at All Might. 2 years? But I was going to try out this year. What do you mean? Well, after I get in, my birthday is going to be coming up, so I'll only be, well, not that too far off. I see. So, you're trying to get in early. My grades are good enough, Uncle All Might. I'll do fine. Besides, I'm getting the hang of it. I was working out for 2 hours today and I wasn't getting tired. I see, but you still haven't answered my question. No. I think I'm good where I'm at. I mean, a Quirk would be nice, but I don't think he would agree with me. He. Now, Melissa would just say that since they're sharing, her then actually going to hold up her sword. And her holding up directly in front of All Might before just turning it flat. As she does tell Izuku to introduce himself. Now, All Might does look confused, as he is going to look closer at the blade, before his reflection turns into one of a young man, who he does have hair on his face, and he does also have longer hair, as he does say hello. All Might backing away as he does fall backwards. Jah, what is that? This is my trainer. He's been helping me for a long time. You are All Might, the strongest man on earth. It is a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. Now, Melissa and All Might would sit down, and Melissa, she would explain it. All Might surprised to hear about the magic sword of King Arthur. Then again, his quirk. Yeah. Now, Melissa and All Might, along with Izuku, do talk. And All Might does understand what Midoriya is saying. Melissa is still on her way to harnessing his power. And what she knows already isn't a lot. A warrior's spirit has to be trained through perseverance, endurance, and battle. And it's the fastest way to do any of that. Now, All Might doesn't really understand this. However, Midoriya does explain it, in a way he can understand. Think of it like being a 5-star restaurant compared to a fast food place. Now, All Might would hear Izuku's analogy, as Melissa does talk about how he does know a bit more about the modern world, since he's talking about how, for these restaurants that are more expensive, their food is usually a higher quality and could taste better, or does taste better, compared to fast food, which is cheap, it can be tasty, and, well, you know, there's a difference. If Melissa tries to take on 2 powers and tries to mash them in a hurry, she can hurt herself. And, well, it'd be like overfilling a glass of water. That being what Midoriya does talk about with his analogy. Him trying to explain to All Might that with the more time Melissa does spend with a quirk, the better it can become. However, yes, that's true, she has yet to master his own ability. Now, All Might, yeah, he's kind of confused about it, but at the same time he does have a vague understanding. Don't put too much on her shoulders. Now, you also do then have All Might, who, after some prodding from Melissa, yeah, he gives David a call, and he would explain the situation. Now, David's shield is taken completely by surprise. So this is why All Might's been slowing down. Why he doesn't do a lot of hero work. Sure, he knew he was injured, but even then, a quirk that can be passed down? That's insane. Now, with that being said, we do then have, let's just say, a few months later, where Melissa, she does go to apply for UA. And she's just standing there outside the building. As, around this time, she's already gone through at least some physical sparring matches with All Might. Granted, he was in his Small Might form and taking it easy on her, But yeah, it did still at least give her some experience. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is the first real time I might be in a fight. Calm your mind, Melissa. A warrior with thoughts like that clouding their judgment is not a warrior who can keep their head on straight in battle. Now, Melissa would just talk about how he's right. And everyone look at this particularly strange, blonde-haired girl with glasses on, who is holding something wrapped up in cloth. Now, Melissa would walk in, and she is going to take the written exam, as she does sit alone in the back. And a lot of people do look at her. She isn't from any of the schools they know about, and it does seem particularly weird that she's here. Now, Melissa's the first one done, as she does then go over to the combat portion, where she was pulled aside by some teachers, and where they did question her about her paper. Yeah, they were confused. Her quote unquote Quirk's name and the school she has come from. Now, this is quite strange. Melissa's Quirk name, she put it down as Blade Dancer, or Bladed Power. And her school name is one that would be in Island, or not even technically a country. Now, after some explaining as to who she is and where she's from, it does make a bit more sense. What doesn't make sense though is why this girl's here. Now, a lot of people, they do seem to be kind of weirded out by this, or teachers, but after some talking with Nezu, they're able to at least get it sorted out. And she's allowed to bring in her specialized weapon, since she does need to channel something through her, well, channel her energy, quote unquote, through a blade. Now, UA, yeah. They were confused, but Melissa, she did kind of thoroughly drill into them that if she doesn't use the blade, a lot of bad things can happen with her power, and it can go out of control. And you did actually have All Might, who was there, telling them that she does need to use it, and that he's been training her for the last few months. Now, Melissa would take part in the entrance exam, as a lot of people do stare at this younger girl, who she's cleaving her way through robots with a blade, and slicing through them all like butter. Now, a lot of people, they are talking about this. That girl, she looks smaller and a little bit younger than everyone else. A lot of people think that that might just be her quirk, or she's younger than everyone, right? Now, a lot of people are also talking about the strange voice they do hear whenever they're around that girl, along with the way it does feel, as you do actually have Melissa, who she does stand there in a, let's just say, a blue hoodie and a pair of workout pants. Her hair tied back, as she doesn't have her glasses on. Her eyes are shining blue, and the sword in her hand, it does have a strange aura around it that only she can see. Now, the aura does shine blue, and Midoriya's eyes do come through the blade, as he does tell Melissa that there's 3 behind them, 4 to their right, 8 to the front, and 7 to their left. And he does tell her the best strategy, to which she does just say, I know, and she does run forwards, and head for the larger group. Now, a lot of people do watch this, and even Nezu is surprised. As, after everything is said and done and over, a lot of people would come up to ask her a few questions. As you do actually have her going to put the sword back in the holster, and then go to wrap it up in the cloth, as she is then going to throw it over her shoulder. Now, a lot of people are staring at her, and some of them are talking about the cuts on her face and some of the ones on her hands, from whenever she cut up robots and some of the debris cut her, asking her about those. Oh, don't worry about it, I'll be fine. They'll heal soon. Well, no, it's not that, but you're not bleeding. Along with that, you are our age, right? Oh, I'm just a little bit younger. I'm a prodigy though, so I'll catch up with you guys in no time. Hmm? Really? Yeah. Anyways, I have to go. Melissa's going to run off. As you do actually have Principal Nezu and a few of the teachers, who are all talking. Now, they do wonder about everything, and it does seem to be all quite peculiar. As Melissa, she does get into UA. However, Principal Nezu wants to talk to this young girl, especially since Mr. Nezu talked with her father and asked him a few questions. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys on the next part.